What's a secret you'll never tell your partner but are willing to tell strangers on the internet? I never paid for our wedding photos. Here's the full story, because I've needed to tell someone and my wife obviously can't be that person. We got engaged and immediately started stressing about the budget. Wedding photographers are expensive in a way that genuinely catches you off guard if you've never looked into it before. We were getting quotes between $3,000 and $6,000 for photographers we liked, which was well over what we budgeted. My wife was starting to feel like we were going to have to compromise on something that mattered to her. Then her coworker mentioned this photographer she'd used for headshots. Newer, still building her portfolio, but really talented. We looked at her work and it was genuinely stunning. Editorial, natural, the kind of photos that look candid but are clearly composed. We emailed her, got a quote for $2,400 for full day coverage, which was significantly under every other quote we'd received. We felt like we'd discovered a secret. We booked her immediately. The arrangement was $800 upfront as a deposit to lock in the date, with the remaining $1,600 due after the wedding once we received the final gallery. She showed up on our wedding day and was everything we could have hoped for. She was there for 12 hours, getting ready, first look, ceremony, cocktail hour, reception. Invisible in the best way, the kind of photographer you forget is there right up until you see what she captured. My wife connected with her immediately. 3 weeks after the wedding, the gallery landed in my inbox. I sat with it for probably 20 minutes on my lunch break. It was perfect. Not almost perfect, completely perfect. She had caught things I didn't even know had happened. My wife's grandmother tearing up during the ceremony. My best man laughing at something just off frame during the first dance. Small, quiet, unrepeatable moments. I forwarded the link to my wife without saying anything, and she called me 10 minutes later crying. Then I closed the gallery and went looking for the invoice. There wasn't one. I assumed it was coming separately. I waited 2 weeks, then sent a friendly email. Hey, gallery is absolutely stunning. Thank you so much. Just send over the final invoice when you get a chance. She replied the same day, warm and enthusiastic. Said she was so glad we loved everything and she'd get the invoice right over. That was the last normal exchange we ever had. A month later, I emailed again, checking in. Still haven't received anything. Happy to pay by whatever method is easiest. She replied, apologizing, said she'd been completely slammed and would send it that week without fail. She did not send it that week. I emailed a third time, a fourth. The replies slowed down, got shorter, more apologetic. I wasn't frustrated. I genuinely felt bad. Figured she was going through something. I just wanted to close the loop. I tried calling the number I had from the wedding, straight to voicemail. I left a message. She never called back. At the 3-month mark, her email started bouncing. I checked her Instagram, private. Her website was down, domain expired. Her Facebook business page was gone. She had completely vanished. I did a proper search, checked for new business registrations, looked for a new handle, asked in a local photography group if anyone had heard from her. One person said they thought she'd gone through some kind of personal crisis and stepped away from everything, which gave me a small amount of comfort. I genuinely hope she's okay. But after 4 months and somewhere around 10 attempts, I had done everything I could reasonably do. My wife has no idea. As far as she knows, we paid $2,400 for our wedding photos, which she already considered a steal. She is not wrong that it was worth it. She talks about those photos like they are sacred. Canvas prints in the living room, framed copies in the hallway, a custom album on the coffee table that every guest flips through. She sent prints to her parents, her grandmother, her aunt. She used to text the photographer on holidays to thank her until the number stopped working. She has the photo from our first look as her phone wallpaper and has for 2 years straight. Those photos are her most prized possession. Maybe the most prized thing from our entire relationship. They cost $800 and 4 months of unanswered emails. I've thought about telling her. I've rehearsed it. Hey, funny thing about the photos. And then I picture her face. She wouldn't be angry at me. She knows I'd have tried. But I think it would plant something small and permanent. Some little voice in the back of her head every time she looks at them. I don't want that. The photos are perfect. The way she feels about them is perfect. The invoice situation is just a footnote she doesn't need. It sits with me though. Every time she hangs a new one on the